Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
Now, we do our best each week to bring you tasteful content,
but viewer discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
We begin our journey this week in Dorchester County for a tour of Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge.
We make room for Thanksgiving dinner at the annual Bethany-Fenwick Turkey Trot.
We'll keep our noses to the grindstone in Seaford in this week's Remembering Scorchy Taws.
And we'll get a lesson in flying as we take to the skies with Ocean Aviation.
Outdoors Delmarva starts right now.
Welcome to Outdoors Delmarva, the show that celebrates our communities, our cultures and traditions, and the places we call home. My name is Jason Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch. Jason, you know we're only 2 weeks away from Christmas. Have you bought my gift yet?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, very convincing.
Okay, what Lauren doesn't know is that I haven't even started shopping yet, and I certainly haven't bought her anything.
You know I can hear you, right?
That is the last time that I buy a life-pausing remote from a guy at the bowling alley.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here's Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
If you're a hunter or a nature enthusiast, you may be looking for a new place to explore.
So if that's the case, let us introduce you to Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge.
Welcome to Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge. We are sitting here just on the edge of the Blackwater River to our south here. Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge is incredibly important for Maryland. We actually protect nearly a third of all the tidal wetlands in the state of Maryland, and we overwinter the largest population of Atlantic Canada goose here on the Delmarva Peninsula. This refuge, on a day-to-day basis during the migratory waterfowl season, we have about 25 to 30,000 waterfowl that actually use the refuge. And we also are able to allow our hunters to use the refuge as well. We have a significant number of recreational activities that people can access here across the refuge. 33,000 acres total, about 16,000 acres are open to the public for hunting. We have 5 miles of trails that people can hike, 17 miles of paddle trails, and for waterfowl hunting in particular, we have 7 miles of shoreline that hunters can access at 18 different locations, all through recreation.gov, which is our permit management system. Because we have actual assigned units, you're not competing to get to your spot at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning when you're able to access some of these places. So it's a little bit of a more easily accessible kind of hunt. You've got within those units, you have a number of different places that you can hunt. You're not assigned to a specific location in that unit, so you're able to adjust for the wind, the weather, the sun, anything like that. So it's a lot. To me, it's a very calm way of duck hunting versus some of the more challenging places that I've hunted in the past. We have a lot of visitors from all over the country, all over the world that come here just to really view our waterfowl or hunt our waterfowl, hunt our sitka deer, hunt our turkeys. It's a pretty amazing place. Blackwater is a gem. I mean, people call it the Everglades of the North. We are just so unique in the amount of wildlife, the amount of management that we do here, and the types of ecosystems that we protect. It's a great spot to come to. It's a great spot to learn. It's a great spot to get away. This was one of the places that I've always wanted to work in my career, and I'm just proud that I was able to actually make that happen.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that once you visit Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge, that it will quickly become one of your favorite spots to show friends and family from out of town.
Still to come on the show, we'll check out a Seaford flour mill in this week's Remembering Scorchy Taws.
But up next, we're going to wobble while we gobble in Bethany Beach. Outdoors Delmarva, we'll be right back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
While many of us were up early preparing for Thanksgiving festivities,
Or sleeping off the night before.
more than 2,000 people hit the boardwalk in Bethany Beach.
All right, so this turkey trot started in Fenwick. It's a Fenwick Island turkey trot, and then it migrated to the Bethany-Fenwick turkey trot about 7 years ago, and we made our main beneficiary the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company, and we've been able to grow it to 2,100 runners this year. So we've never had more than about 1,800 runners at an event in Bethany Beach, so we're very excited to be able to get 2,100 runners to come out and support a great cause. So this is not a competitive event. This is a fun run, a fun event. As you can see, we have a lot of families here, costumes, dogs, and this is, you know, we like to say this is your right to feast. All right, you can't feast tonight unless you run your turkey trot in the morning, and we like to have fun with it. So you'll see it's only 2 miles. Anyone can walk or run it, and you know, it starts at a nice time, 9 a.m. We have a beautiful day, and so it's a great event.
Well, I was 10 years old and I learned how to juggle at Circus World in Florida. I became very passionate about juggling, and I never stopped juggling as a child, as an adult. And then people asked me to come out and juggle for them, and I started juggling. And all of a sudden, I found that my niche. And 30 years later, 2 Guinness World Records, and a full-time position as a juggler. I'm enjoying life every day.
So our next 5-miler, our next event is Surf and Snowman 5-miler on Valentine's Day weekend, and then we go into our flagship event, which is the Coastal Delaware Running Festival in Rehoboth and Dewey Beach. That is a 5K, 9K, half marathon, full marathon, and benefits numerous organizations in our local community, and we see upwards of about 5,000 to 6,000 people represented with as many as 47 states and 10 countries around the world. FocusMultisports.com, and that will show you our calendar of events, and then you can click on the event that you might be interested in, and you can drill down on that and get lots of great information about our events.
What a perfect morning for those who like a little physical activity ahead of a day of food and football. Lauren, we should dress up next year and participate.
It depends on if I need to sleep off the night before. Outdoors Delmarva returns right after these messages.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Jason, you strike me as one of those people who really likes to know about the origins of things.
Yeah, especially local names and places like 60-Foot Road, Marshy Hope Creek, Silver Beach, and one that I actually get an answer to from my hometown of Seaford, Hearns Mill Pond.
Honoring the life and legacy of Scorchy Taws, thanks to Shorts Marine in Long Neck, Delaware. Shorts Marine, everything but the water.
They don't make it like they used to? Don't you believe it? At Hearn & Rollins Flour Mill in Seaford, 5 generations of the same family have upheld the tradition of excellence. Excellence that was established in 1885, the year the mill was purchased by Marcellus Hearn.
We've tried to keep up quality stuff. We try to grind quality stuff. We don't buy in anything that's inferior. We try to keep our reputation up. We always had this reputation of grinding good stuff, making good stuff. And that's been mostly our secret.
Jake Moore, grandson of Marcellus, at age 83, is the current guiding light of this historic mill. One of the few mills remaining in America that can be run by water power, but now depends on electricity as its main source of energy.
I'm around here most of the time. I stay here from probably 9 o'clock until about 1:30, something like that, and I go home, take a nap.
Yes, Jake Moore has been the man on the scene at Hearn and Rollins for as long as most anyone alive can remember.
They come in here, every once in a while, they say, well, I've been in this old mill for 50 years or 60 years, on white dough flour.
The mill is a busy place, grinding tons of cornmeal and flour each day, as well as a mixture of meal and flour.
Business is very good. Considering everything, business is very good.
Keep busy?
Yeah, keep busy all the time. We work 9 hours a day.
Jake Moore has seen a lot of water go over the dam at the historic mill. There's no retirement plans. He relishes every day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm contented. My wife says that she's sure glad I got something to do, but she won't want to do it. She wouldn't want to stay around me doing what I have to do.
Scorchy Taws wondering our Delmarvelous land for WBOC News.
Remembering Scorchy Taws is presented by Shorts Marine, online at shortsmarine.com.
Did you know that the device used to create artificial snow, the snow cannon, was invented in 1950, and Grossinger's Resort in the Catskill Mountains was the first to use one?
Did you know that most modern snow cannons are fully computerized, being remotely controlled from a centralized location?
And did you know that by 2010, it was estimated that nearly 90% of ski resorts belonging to the National Ski Areas Association were using artificial snowmakers?
Now you do.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
As we saw with Delmarva balloon rides, there's no better way to see Delmarva than from way up on high.
And if that's the case, your first step should be contacting Ocean Aviation.
I opened this in June of 2007, so it's 16 years that we've been here in Ocean City. Started out as a very small flight academy, one instructor, which was me, and one airplane. And today we have 9 aircraft, we have 9 instructors. We have, at one point, we had 1 student at a time. I knew everyone. Today we have over 100 students enrolled here in Ocean City, and our new campus in Georgetown has, I think, 27 enrolled students.
My dad flew C-130s in the Air Force, so I've always been around aviation, and before I actually started flying, I was a flight attendant for 3 years, and most of my friends when I was a flight attendant were either the pilots or the mechanics, and I just decided I would rather fly the planes than being in the back. Just come fly, do one flight, and usually people after they do that one flight, they're like, this is awesome, I want to do this. And even if they don't decide they want to do it as a career, most of them will sign up and do like their private pilot's license, and after they get that, they're like, oh, I think flying in the clouds would be cool, and then go on to doing like their instrument training. So just do a discovery flight, just try it out. Most people are hooked after the first flight.
I had this in my head from the time I was in grade school. No one in my family ever flew. This was very out of the ordinary. I loved it. I started flying when I was 18 years old, and 49 years later, if I take off, I still have that smile on my face. It's something that can't compare to anything else. And we have a large group of people that came in at 13 and 14 years old. Parents say the same thing. We've got nobody in the family that flies, but ever since he could look up, he's been looking at airplanes. And we have so many of them have come through the school now that are captains with major airlines that started here when they were 14 and 15 years old. And yeah, it's very special to watch these kids grow up around us, very special. And then there's an epidemic shortage of pilots. So we have the people coming in who are thinking about a new career. And we have everything from people who are able to retire at 40 years old that are looking towards that second career, professionals. We have everything from police officers, firemen who are learning to fly here. In order to work for the airlines, you need to have 1,500 hours of flight time. When they complete that course with us, they're going to have about 250 hours. So they'll come on board, and we'll guarantee anyone who goes through our professional pilot program, we'll guarantee a position as one of our flight instructors. So, and they'll work here for 2.5 years as a flight instructor. But at that time that they're working as a flight instructor, they'll feel like the Heisman Trophy winner, because the regional airlines and even now the major airlines will be reaching out to them saying, please come out to our headquarters, let us take you out for dinner, show you our operation, and please come fly for us. And to me, it's like the Baltimore Orioles going out to the schoolyard and saying, please, we need somebody to play second base. This is a dream career, and it's wide open. And so we're getting a lot of people streaming in.
That's certainly not a view everyone gets, and I'm trying my best not to hit you right now because you did not take me with you.
That invitation must have gotten lost in the mail.
Well, I better get an invite next time, or you're going to get lost in the mail.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. We'll take a look at your latest photos when Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, returns right after these messages.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Here's Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
It's time to flip through the photo album and take a look at your latest pictures.
Thanks to our friends at North Bay Marina.
Alan Jarman gets us started with this magnificent 8-pointer.
Landon Cathell found success during Youth Weekend with this 9-pointer, and Mom Stacy couldn't be prouder.
14-year-old Noah Lowe of Fruitland knocked down his second buck during Maryland youth hunting.
And Noah's cousin, 13-year-old Jaden Moore, wasn't about to be outdone by harvesting this tremendous buck.
12-year-old Owen Laux of Georgetown shows off his trophy buck. Excellent work, Owen.
At just 4 years old, Chase Bradley is well on his way to a life of trophy bucks and a smile to light up a room.
9-year-old Coley Timmons of Snow Hill, pictured here with her dad and grandfather, has plenty of reasons to smile with this magnificent buck.
13-year-old Joshua Yoder got himself one monster buck in Kent County, Delaware. That rack is no joke, Joshua.
For a lot of us, like 8-year-old Katie Iman and her grandfather, the hunting experience is more about who you share it with than what you bring home.
And Jeffrey Mitchell sent us this sunset photo from Cape Charles, and it's a great way to wrap up this week's viewer photos.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by North Bay Marina.
And now it's time to take a look at the Mount of the Week.
Brought to us by Longhorn Butcher and Taxidermy in Pittsville.
This deer was harvested by Travis Pruitt in Worcester County and is another quality showpiece handcrafted by Spencer Schaffner.
For all your butcher and taxidermy needs, contact Spencer at 410-422-3942. That's going to do it for us this week. Thank you so much for watching. Keep sending in those photos by emailing outdoors@wboc.com.
Now, if you have submitted photos and you haven't seen them yet here on the show, don't worry, we are getting to them as soon as possible. Now, don't forget to scan that QR code in the bottom right corner of your screen to stay up to date with everything that we have going on here at the show. And we do hope to see you right back here again next week. But until then, my name is Jason Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch, and we hope to see you outdoors, Delmarva.
Outdoors Delmarva, a Draper Media production, is presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Shorts Marine and Bell Creek Equipment.